Greetings and welcome to the Dakota County Star Podcast, the weekly podcast of the Dakota County Star newspaper published in South Sioux City, Nebraska. I'm Mike Carnes, publisher of the Dakota County Star and your host for our weekly podcast where we talk about what's going on in South Sioux City and the rest of Dakota County, highlight what is in this week's edition of the Dakota County Star, and discuss whatever other issues happen to be bouncing around inside that space between my ears. The Dakota County Star Podcast is sponsored by Maricela Morales, your Aflac Bilingual Benefits Advisor, located in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Give her a call at 712-259-6580. And now, time to launch the rockets and blast off with another edition of the Dakota County Star Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome to the big show, the Dakota County Star Podcast, here on Dakota County Star's website at datcostar.com. I am Mike Carnes, your host for the weekly edition of what is going on here in Dakota County. Tell you a little bit about what's happening here in the South Sioux area. We'll tell you a little bit about what's in this week's edition of the Dakota County Star as well. Kind of a big weekend in Dakota County with Homer's 150th weekend coming up. We'll tell you a little bit about that later on. But this week, we're going to talk about South Sioux City, and especially the business and the development of the business community here in town. A town cannot survive without a good group of businesses that are working here, providing jobs, helping people get things done here in the area. And in order to have a good business background or a good business community, you got to have a good chamber. I've lived in a bunch of communities over the years, and chambers of commerce are always at the forefront of any good downtown or good business lineup. And with us this week on the program is Lori Warner, who's the president of not only the Chamber of Commerce but tourism too. The president of the South Sioux Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism. With us here on the Dakota County Star podcast. Lori, welcome to the show, and been a busy week for you already.
Thank you. It has. We had 3 ribbon cuttings this week, so we have a lot going on in the area. We are here, of course, to help our businesses be recognized and to just let people know they're here and what they offer.
Yeah, and one of the ribbon cuttings, of course, was here at the Star office this morning. We managed to fit everybody in here, and the rain stopped just in time too.
That was perfect. You timed that just right.
I'm good with that sometimes. I went out to get the ice for the water about 10:30, and it was pouring rain, and I walked in, dropped the ice off, parked the car, and then it stopped. It was just how it works sometimes. I wish I had that kind of power on a lot of things, but
we all, right?
I just got lucky today. So, Lori, you've been with the chamber now. This is your actually your second term with the chamber. You were with the chamber back in the 2010s, and then kind of left and did something a little cool. A lot of cool actually. Running a pizzeria in Sioux City. Tell me a little bit about your experience here.
Sure, absolutely. So my background, I have either been in the Chamber of Commerce or I've been running a restaurant, and it's back and forth over the years, and I have about equal experience in both, about 20 years in the restaurant world and about 20 years at the Chamber of Commerce. So that's kind of been my passion throughout the years, and even though I tell myself that no, it's not, it always comes back to It always comes back to that. I love the Chamber of Commerce because it's a great way to help people. And if you're not familiar with what a Chamber of Commerce is, it's a local or regional organization that supports and advocates for the business community. Our main goal is to promote the economic growth of the area, improve the business climate, and provide networking and educational opportunities for our members.
All right, and you were with the chamber the first time from 2012 till 2016.
Correct.
Right? Okay, and then from there you did you leave to join the Pizza Ranch then? How did that come about?
It actually, as you know, you meet lots of people through the chamber networking, and one of the areas that I met some people from was the restaurant world, and so we had our youngest son graduating that year. He graduated in May of 2016 and then left for the military. He's full-time Army. And so when he left, we became empty nesters. And I was just like, okay, this is an opportunity for a different career path. And I didn't have to go to his sporting events or go to, different things. So it really, as you know, a restaurant, you work a lot of hours and you work a lot of times in the evenings, nights, that kind of thing, and weekends. And so it was a big change because I was typically Monday through Friday at the chamber, and then I turned around and went to restaurant, which was all hours, and that was right at that time.
Right for you at that time.
Yes, at that time. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then what drew you back to the chamber then?
Well, a couple things. Over the years I was there, every once in a while I would get a call from the chamber asking if I'd be interested in coming back. And I always said no, I wasn't ready yet because I was trying to really... I set goals for myself.
Yeah.
And one of the goals I had at Pizza Ranch was to be in the top 5 of the franchise. And we were. And we made that goal. And so after I hit that goal, then that's when I reached back out and said, okay, I've hit my goals now. Now I'm ready to slow down a little bit. Because as we know, as we age, it's not as easy to run those kind of hours and be working 14 hours a day on my feet just isn't quite as good at 60 as it was when I was 40. So,
amen. Yeah, I'm going to be 60 next year, and I've there's a lot of nights that I ask myself, why am I still doing this at this age? I should be I should be doing something else. Right. But again, if you love what you do, it's kind of hard to walk away.
Absolutely. So then I decided to sell out my shares of the Pizza Ranch back to actually one of their children that own the Pizza Ranch franchise, and went ahead and did that, and then took a little break between, and then came back to the chamber in December.
All right, and coming back to the chamber. I know there's some things that you wanted to do to kind of get the chamber back. I think maybe get it over COVID. I think because COVID really impacted in a ton of ways. Pretty much every aspect of our lives was done in by that pandemic. And the chamber used to have a banquet every year, and that was one of the first things that you decided on doing was to bring the chamber banquet back, and talk a little about reigniting that and how that went.
Sure. So it's part of the process when I came back, because you're right, a lot of things are different now than they were before COVID. Mm-hmm. There was a lot more active people before COVID. There were a lot more businesses that participated in things, and then when COVID hit, it really slowed that down because people couldn't get out. They couldn't go to events. They couldn't, do things. And so when I came back, that was one of the questions I asked the board, is for us to put together a priority list of what they would like to see happen. And so we chose three different areas that we could look at, that we wanted to bring back or get going again as we move forward. And so I told them for 2025, this is what the focus is going to be on, because you can't bring everything back at once. And also the way things have changed, not everything is going to work the same as what it had to work in the past. Mm-hmm.
In having the banquet, we had it at the new
Marriott Event Center.
Mm-hmm. Event Center. They had just opened the doors on that a few months earlier. And boy, I tell you what, I really enjoyed. I always enjoyed going to chamber banquets stuff. That was really a fun time, and a great I think a great first step toward getting the chamber back going in that direction.
Absolutely, it was a good turnout. We had over 200 people at the event, and for it had not happened since 2020. Mm-hmm. So for it to come back in 2025, and we did the dueling pianos. That's just a fun, hyped up event. And it was really nice to, again, walk around and talk to the different businesses and thank them for being part of the chamber, and then for us to recognize some of our board members for all the volunteering that they've done over the years.
Yeah. For me, as a business owner and a new member of the community, it was a great opportunity for me to get to some people I have seen in and around at events and things, chamber coffees and things like that. But it was an opportunity for me to get to introduce myself to some other people that I haven't met yet, and then get to know some of those other people that I've already met, get to know them a little better. So I really enjoyed the event. It was a great experience for me as a business owner to be a part of that.
Oh, thank you.
So,
I appreciate that.
You bet. Let's talk about tourism, because I know that one of the things that South Sioux City has opportunities is for tourism. With our location right next to Sioux City, right across the river there, there's an opportunity for us to kind of be a part of some of the stuff that goes on there. I know that with the NAIA basketball tournament every year, I know that teams and fans will stay at hotels here in South Sioux as well as in and around the area. What's the Chamber's goal in the tourism side of things?
Sure. Many people probably don't realize this, but we actually, our group, there's a CVB board. We are commissioned by the Dakota County Commissioners to be able to look over and use the funds for tourism. The tourism dollars come from the hotels. So it comes through them.
There's a tax on hotels.
Correct. So the state gets a 1% of that tourism money, and then they turn around and give us the remaining part of that, and then the county takes a small portion, and then the rest comes back to the CVB to run the CVB.
And CVB is Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Correct, yes. And we use that and we just have it as part of our name as South Sioux City Area Chamber and Tourism. And so what we do is we actually go out and do proposals, and we try to get conferences to come to town. And the Marriott and the Cottonwood are great to work with. Both of them have space for either meetings or conventions, and so we work diligently with them to try to bring things to town. One of the things that we've done really well over the last 10 years is dog shows, and if people are not aware of that, we do 2 a year. So our next one is in September. It's for a week. And so that has the economic impact of about $2.3 million when they come in and stay a week here in town, and that is they're going out to restaurants while they're here, they're going shopping, they're just doing different things in the community in all of Siouxland, and that of course brings money back into us. And right. So that's what's really important about it. But we also help in other ways as well. So our local groups, and you brought up Homer, we have a lot of groups in town that apply for a grant through the CVB, which we have so many grant dollars every year that we can give out. And so I would just wanted to share a few of them with you that we've donated to. Hubbard Hoot Owl Days, we've done $1,000 to them. The Hubbard Betterment Community, we did $500 to them, and that was for their like Saturday event that they have. I'm trying to think now what is all the food or all the farmers market. Yeah. There you go. Okay. I couldn't think of the name. Celebrate Siouxland, $2,500 to the 15th round promotion, which is the boxing, was $2,500 to South Sioux City YMCA. We donated $10,000 to their building fund. The city clerks conference, they came to town and we did $2,500 to them. Unity in Action for this year. For the international tour that they're doing at the Orpheum, we gave them $5,000. Cinco de Mayo, we did $500 to. The alumni soccer tournament, we did $2,500 to. The train show, we did $2,500 to. The Scene of the Crash coming up was $1,000. The Dakota County Thurston Fair, $2,500. And then the Interstate Soccer Club that is going to the National President's Cup coming up, we just donated $1,500 to. So this year in our 24-25 calendar year, because our fiscal year is June till July, or July to June. Okay. And so this year in that year we gave $38,500 in sponsorships to different events in the area.
And those are events that bring people into Dakota County, not just South Sioux City, but like you mentioned in Hubbard, to events there and to other places around the area. So it's a great opportunity to draw in people.
Absolutely. And really the realistic side of tourism is that it puts heads on beds, because that's where the money comes to for us to be able to turn around and fund the different events that we do.
Right.
So it really is important that when we're looking at different conferences or we're looking at different events, we just secured the Midwest Darts tournament for the next 2 years for 26 and 27 to be hosted at the Marriott. And again, it'll be a 4-day event that's bringing all kinds of people from all over the place to come in and stay in our town, so that we again will reap that benefit of them staying overnight, and the money goes back to us to help with promotions.
Yeah. Now, having come here from Wayne, I'm familiar with some of the things that the Wayne Chamber does, particularly with the chicken show that they have every year. Their community celebration. That's something that draws in people from, a lot of alumni come back that weekend. They have a lot of alumni gatherings, and so you have people that come in from out of town, come back home for the weekend, and again that puts heads in beds and then brings money into the town, and town generates several $100,000. And back when I first started there, they used to have a rugby tournament every year that would draw in teams from all over the country and Canada.
Wow.
There would be colleges that would come from all over the place, and that one weekend, I remember talking to the coach that weekend. UNO had done an economic study on that tournament. And in that one weekend, that brought in almost $500,000 to the community of Wayne, just in one weekend.
Correct.
And the thing about that is, when you're bringing in people from out of town, you're bringing money into the community.
Absolutely.
A lot of the I guess the thing with the Wayne community, or with the chicken show, a lot of the people that are a part of that are already in the community. So the money is basically just changing hands within the community.
Right.
Whereas when you have something like a darts tournament or something of that nature, you have people coming in from different parts of the country that are staying in. Staying at the Marriott, staying at the Cottonwood, staying at one of the hotels here in town or in the Sioux City area, and that brings in those lodging tax dollars that rely on that.
Absolutely. And the other part of this too, and just like you had mentioned, we have a tri-state car show that will be coming in September, and they will be coming from all over to be in that tri-state car show, and those people then again will be staying in the hotels. But our goal is really to have 1 or 2 conferences or events every month throughout the year, so that we can see that benefit back to us, back to the CVB. And how we can do that is we take turns going to trade shows, or we take turns going to travel shows, or just anything that we feel like might be a good fit for the South Sioux City area and for Nebraska.
And so now, do you go to a car show that's in, let's say, Omaha or something like that, and say,
We have
try to do. Is that how you try to do it then?
I mean, we try to. I just did a proposal for the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. We went to their conference to do the presentation. So they happened to be in La Vista this year, and so we went up there and did the presentation in front of their board. Okay. So anytime that we can find any kind of a conference or any kind of event. And also, one of the things that's really good with the Marriott, and Josiah is their new director there that's in charge of the event center, is him and I will email back and forth on suggestions. Like, okay, hey, I found this event in Omaha this year. Let's see if we can get it for us next year. Uh-huh. Sometimes the event, it works that way because they do travel. But then there's other times where they say, no, we want to just stay here at the same place every year. So, but we don't give up. We just keep trying, and we're always Googling, always looking for things. So if there's anyone that's listening to the podcast that has something they know about, please let us know, because word of mouth, of course, is important, and we don't always know what's going on out there in the area or what's something that could possibly come here.
Yeah, so it's like I was told when I was first starting to do sales years ago, if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Correct.
But
Very
if you
true.
do, you never know. Now, speaking about tourism and stuff, we have the horse race track that's going to be opening up here this fall, leading into the casino. that's going to be built, and I know that the city has a vision for that Inland Port Authority land, and part of that is to bring an entertainment district in that area. Now, would that help the tourism board?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're very excited even to have the first race, because they have to have one horse race each year to keep their license. So the idea is that they're going to have a race out at the new track this fall. I think they're looking at August or September for that event. And so that's just the first one, but it'll still bring in lots of people just for that weekend, for that event. And then going future-wise, again, the casino will be the next phase, which they've already announced that they will start groundbreaking on that in 2026 for the casino. They kind of have everything in phases. So it'll be phase 1 is the track, phase 2 will be the casino, and then phase 3 will be something else. So as that continues to grow, of course, that's going to bring more people to the community, and both people to live here and people to work there, and then visitors as well.
Yeah, and is that something where you want to work with the city on trying to suggest stuff that can go in that location?
Absolutely. The South Sioux City has a great economic development department, which Oscar is in charge of, and he works diligently on different projects, and this is forefront for him. It's something that he knows that is going to be important to us as we go forward, and so I see that over the next 10 years that really developing out there.
Yeah, and that'd be really nice. I think one of the things that this town needs, amongst other things, is more hotel space. We've got a couple of nice, a few nice hotels, with Marriott, Cottonwood Inn. We've got a couple others here in town that are, it's great to have them, but you can, if you're trying to draw people into town and you're trying to get events like this, you can never have enough hotel space.
Right. So I think too, it's important along with that is depending on the quality, and so we want to see that 3-star, 4-star hotel come in that would balance the ones that we have out. Mm-hmm. So right now, Marriott is considered 5 stars. It's upper scale, and then the Cottonwood is a little bit on the lower end, and so I think that it would be nice to have another one that's right in the middle, kind of for them.
Yeah, I've stayed in both hotels over the course of my times I've had to come to South Sioux City. I've stayed at the Cottonwood a few times, and it's a nice little setup they have there. And I've stayed over at the Marriott a couple times, and really nice rooms they have there, especially if you have one that with the view of the river.
Yes. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh God, we had one with the view of the river, and it was just really cool. It was a New Year's Eve too, so we got to see the fireworks going off in Sioux City, and just got to watch it from our room, overlooking the river and everything. It was really a nice setup. So they got some really nice stuff there.
Very nice.
There at the Marriott. One of your goals is to bring new businesses to town, and of course new businesses or new people to the business, as would be in my case, but. Talk about some of the new businesses that we've seen come here in town, and I don't know if there's any others you can talk about that are on their way or whatever. But what's new on the business end?
Sure. So one of the things that we offer at the Chamber of Commerce is we have a how to start your business book that we created for. It's specifically to South Sioux City. So if anyone is interested in starting a business, they need help with their current business, they can stop in and pick it up. I have it in English and in Spanish. And it's really a good guideline for people as they're trying to decide if they want to start a business or how to start a business if they're not sure. One of the things I can't stress enough is that if somebody sells a business to someone else, or if they're just a brand new startup, is that they need to know what the ordinances are and how that impacts them and the zoning of where they're looking at, because that's so important. So in our book that we give out, it tells you exactly who the contacts are that you need to go through planning and zoning, that here's the person's name and phone number, and we give them all that information so that we can help them do it the right way. We hate to have somebody come in and take over a business and do a bunch of changes and then realize the changes they made aren't correct according to what the ordinances are.
And I think we've seen a little bit of that here in the last year. There's been a couple of businesses that have kind of kind of run afoul of the ordinance
Yes.
situation there, and so
and so
it's really important.
It is really important, and some of that is the cultural difference. Also, they don't realize what the steps are, and so that's why it's so important that we're here to help people, and that they just need to use us. The chamber really is a good resource for people to come in and get information from, so that they can do things the right way. We had the pleasure of this morning doing a ribbon cutting at the Gospel Mission, and they just reopened here in South Sioux City at 1901 Cornhusker Drive. So that's awesome. They're back in their location they were in previously before they had left, and now to have them back is great. And it will be all furniture over here. So how you're used to Gospel Mission with the clothes and the knickknacks and all those will stay at their Sioux City location, but the furniture is going to be here in South Sioux City.
Okay. All right.
So that's exciting to have. Yes, to have them back. We've had several new restaurants open in the last year. If you're not aware of it, we have 24 authentic Mexican restaurants in
only 24.
Just only 24. And then we also have 24 other restaurants that are here in town. So we have 48 altogether, 48 restaurants in town. And so that's a lot of choices.
That is.
It is. And everybody in the area can come here and have lots of choices for their food.
Yeah. So, and we including like fast food places, like Subway,
Yes.
McDonald's, stuff like that. That's part of that too.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting. There are some nights when I'm working late here, and I think so. Man, I'm hungry. What am I hungry for? And I didn't realize I had 48 choices to work with.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And that does include 3 of the there's coffee shops, so that includes those in that 48 number. Okay. So we have plenty of choices here in town. Nobody should ever go hungry.
I was going to say, if you can't find something to eat in South Sioux City, there's a problem.
Definitely.
The only problem I have is there's no like we don't have like a Raising Cane's or we used to have a KFC but don't anymore. But right. Sometimes I just like some good fried chicken.
Oh, I hear you. Yes.
And I'm sure there's probably some places here in town that have fried chicken, but those are the ones that I gravitate towards. So yeah, every time I go to Norfolk to visit family, I'm rolling into Raising Cane's on the way home and grabbing a bunch of chicken fingers and heading out the door. So
I understand. Yep.
So what have we got as far as upcoming events for the chamber?
Sure. So again, the chamber has really been focusing on trying to do more to help our members and to reach out to them with some educational opportunities. So as we were talking to some of our members this last couple weeks, we've had people talk about Surf Save, that they need to be certified in the food side of it. And again, that won't surprise you with having 48 restaurants.
Right.
And so we reached out to UNL Extension, and they helped us set up a class for them, and we can have it in either English or Spanish. So we were going to have it this week. However, it's too hard on a Friday, so we actually adjusted it. It'll be available in August, I believe, is when they're going to do it. And again, you can do it in English or Spanish, and it is geared towards the Surf Save for restaurants. So that was one of the things that we have set up. Another is we have a speed networking lunch coming up August 21st. If you have not done this, it's just a great way to meet people over lunch hour. Very quick, simple, and we feed you, so why would you not come? Because you have to eat anyway. Mm-hmm. And early bird special is $15 to come to the lunch, and you get the opportunity to meet 20 people over your lunch hour. So it really is bring your business cards, and we just help you introduce you to other people, and they get to learn a little bit more about you. So it's all about building that relationship. Similar to what we do on Fridays on coffee hours. We have 60 to 80 people every Friday, and they get to visit with each other, and again, you get to build that relationship with people.
I love the coffee hours here. I used to go to ones in Wayne all the time when I was there, but coming to coffee hour here is really neat, because you always seem to have a really nice crowd wherever it happens to be, and a great opportunity to meet people in the community and get to know people. It's really a great thing you guys do on Friday.
Thank you. It is, and it was really funny because when we were out talking to one of our newer members, and we explained that he should come to coffee hour because it will be a great way to meet people. He was just like, why would I want to come around and watch a bunch of old people have coffee? And it's not that. It's not that at all.
There's young people having coffee too.
That's right.
Yeah.
But we try to make it very fun, entertaining. It's very relaxed, if you would. There's no pressure on anyone. And what's nice too is every Friday it's at a different business. So the business that's hosting it gives them the opportunity to talk about their business, to showcase whatever's going on in their business, and that's the important part of it. Mm-hmm. And so again, it is throughout Siouxland. It's any of our chamber members that can host it. And example will be this week it'll be at Vernity, and last week it was at the eye doctor. So, every week is a different place.
It's kind of neat. Some weeks it's in a small business. Some weeks it's in a bigger business. So you kind of get kind of the best of both worlds in that.
Right, you do, and you get to learn about those businesses, but it also gives you an awareness of where they're located, too. So I think that's really important as well, that they get to host it at their location if they choose to, and that helps people to understand then where they're located.
Yeah. When I hosted the chamber, we had to do it at the school because if you've been at the office here, that there's space is a premium here.
Yes, very true.
In fact, the ribbon cutting today, we had how many people were here for the ribbon cutting? About 20.
Right. Yes.
22, and it was kind of tight quarters there. So. So now, any other events going on?
We will have several events going on. In September, we have the Chamber Golf Outing. This is the 32nd year of the Chamber Golf Outing. That will be hosted at the Covington. And so we do still have some openings for teams if people want to get signed up, or if you'd like to be a sponsor of that event, you're more than welcome to.
Do you have to be a good golfer to play in this?
No, it's all about fun.
Okay, handicap is not an issue.
Yeah, I'm very handicapped when it comes to golf.
I play a different version of golf. It's called "What Was That?" That's usually what I say after I hit it.
There you go. So that is September 17th, and then September 25th we are bringing back the Business Awards Lunch. The Business Awards is an opportunity for us to recognize the businesses in our community and what they've given back to us, basically. And so we will be honoring a small, medium, and large business from the area, and then we will also be recognizing a nonprofit.
That's all coming up in September. So September will be a busy month for you. That's right around the corner.
It is. And then in October, we will be doing AI classes. So we are bringing back an educational piece, and it will be every Thursday in October, and each week will be a different topic on AI. So it's really about training people to use AI correctly. Yeah. And so we'll be offering that for the month of October.
The artificial intelligence is a kind of a new thing and a growing thing, and it's got there's a lot of moving parts to those things and it can really go bad on you real easy. But at the same time, it's amazing what you can do with artificial intelligence.
Absolutely.
In fact, the ad that we have running for the Furry Friends,
yes,
the graphic, that I made that through artificial intelligence.
Oh wow!
I directed. I went on ChatGPT, said make a graph that is this told it what to put, and that's what it created.
Wow!
So I was just like, holy Moses, that is
it's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Yes, it is.
So. But we've had discussions at press convention about AI and its uses and what because it's like I say, it's really easy to go for that to go bad on you, and right. so it's really important to really have a good idea of what you want to do with AI and how to do it. And
well, I think even to the point we just added it to our employee handbook. So the instructions of what can an employee do or cannot do with AI. So I think that's really important, and that's kind of the direction things are going. And so I think, again, that's another opportunity for the Chamber is to be able to help with educating people on how they can use AI appropriately.
That's great idea. Now, if anybody has any questions about the Chamber, you got a website?
Absolutely. You can go to southsiouxchamber.org, or you can call us at 402-494-1626, and Chelsea or myself will help you.
Yeah, and they are very helpful at what they do. I've had to call Chamber on several occasions for stuff, and helpful is just scratching the surface. They're fantastic. at what they do. Lori, thanks a lot for talking with us on the podcast this week.
Thank you.
You bet. It's good to have you here, and I look forward to seeing you around at Chamber Coffee and other events coming up too.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike.
All right, we're going to take a time out here on the Dakota County Star podcast, and when we come back, we'll tell you what's up with this week's edition of the Dakota County Star right here on the Dakota County Star podcast. We'll get back to the podcast in just a moment, but I wanted to talk about our sponsor. Maricela Morales is your local Aflac bilingual benefits advisor, and she can help your small business provide benefits to your employees at no cost to your business. If you want more information, give her a call at 712-259-6580, and she can get you all the details. There's no obligation, and she can answer all your questions. So give Maricela Morales a call at 712-259-6580, your Aflac bilingual benefits advisor in Dakota Dunes, South Dakota. Back to the Dakota County Star podcast for this week, and another busy week going on in Dakota County. Earlier this month, we had celebrations in Emerson. We've got one coming up this weekend in Homer. But last weekend was Dakota City's turn. And so we have a nice picture page in the B section on the 13th annual Cottonwood Days celebration that took place in Dakota City. Tell you what, it was a hot weekend too. It was, I believe, 100 degrees on Saturday. And in fact, I think the low temperature that morning was 81, which was, if I remember reading, was the highest low temperature ever recorded in the Sioux City metro area. So it was a hot weekend to be sure. But we all survived it, and a great time had by all. And that kind of leads us into this week's lead story, which is Homer's 150th anniversary celebration. The village of Homer was first put together way back in 1875, and the city's been going ever since. A little bit lively is the city's mantra, and a lot of great events going on. There's a big ad in the back of the front section with all the calendar events going on. There's a food trucks on Main Street, bouncy houses, a foam party, fireworks show. That's all on Friday night. And then Saturday they have a 5K run, parade, a cornhole tournament, and then a community supper with a live coin auction, and then a street dance on Saturday night, and then Sunday a breakfast, an all-faith church service, and a vintage car and tractor show. And so you got a lot of stuff going on in Homer this weekend. There's also memorabilia that will be available at the village office Saturday afternoon. And then the O'Connor House, which is just outside of town, will be open for tours on Saturday as well from 1 to 4. So lots of stuff going on in Homer this weekend. I'll be out there. You'll see me on the parade route. And in fact, you'll see the entire staff of the Dakota County Star on the parade route. It's not a very big there's just like 2 or 3 of us, so it won't take that long. But we'll be out there this weekend, and we'll look forward to doing some stuff in the paper for next week. Also in this week's paper, the City Council has decided on a 3-lane option for East 39th Street. That's east of Dakota Avenue onto G Street, meeting up with Veterans Drive on the opposite side of G Street. There's been some discussion about whether to make that a 3-lane or a 4-lane. They've opted for the 3-lane. It's going to take up a little less right away. That's kind of one of the things that when you're trying to take up cities trying to take up a right away of property that is owned by somebody, there's negotiations that need to go on with that, and that all takes some time. And the more you take, the more it's going to cost. So it looks like that's what the city's going to do, is going to do 3-lane out there on East 39th Street. And the reason for that is that you're going to have more traffic out in that area in the coming years as the casino is built on the opposite side of the freeway there, just off of G Street. You're going to see racetrack is already under construction there. Casino will break ground, as Lori Warner said earlier, in 2026. So that whole area is going to be changing here in the next 5 to 10 years, and so they're kind of getting ahead of that by making that a 3-lane road. Also on the front page this week, a little preview of the Dakota Thurston County Fair, which is coming up July 31st, starting July 31st, and some information about what's going on with that. Also, a story that was supposed to be in last week's paper, but we kind of ran out of space. County Commissioner Rick Bosquet changing his plea to guilty on the DUI arrest that he had back in January. He'll be scheduled for sentencing on July 21st. And then also we have some construction going on in South Sioux. Street construction will be coming up in the next week that is on the front page here as well. Also inside the page, the county government or county board discussing the pink cards that property owners get when a governing body's budget goes over the 2% allowable maximum. Those looks like county may be experiencing that again this year. Excuse me. And so they will be sharing in the cost of printing for that with whatever other entities go over the 2% mark. Column from Angela Apps, the Youth Development and Extension Educator at the Extension Office here in Dakota City. This week's columns discussing the tariffs, Communist China, and being no more Mr. Nice Guy with the Ram. I think it's high time that we did something with those jokers over there. In the B section, local news from Hubbard, Homer, Emerson, or Hubbard, Homer, Jackson, and Dakota City. We also have a library column from Dan Neiman, our usual listing of classifieds and legal notices. And the last week of the month, of course, we have the Papio, Missouri River NRD page that is on the back page there. So lots of stuff in this week's edition of the Dakota County Star. If you don't have a subscription, give us a call here at 402-494-4264. You can also subscribe online at datcostar.com. Just $50 if you live here in Dakota County or in the nearby area, and we can get you set up with that. If you stop by the office anytime and get your subscription, say hi to Noodles, we'll tack on a couple extra months for free. Just because that's how we do it here. We like our readers, and we like to give them a little deal. So there you go. Got that come up. And speaking of Noodles, our special section coming up in the end of July, the Furry Friends special section. If you've got a pet, dog, cat, snake, fish, goldfish, whatever your pet is, take a picture of it, tell us a little bit about the pet, and we'll put it in the paper for you. It's got a special section that will be printing the end of July, and we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun putting that together. So, like we said, a busy weekend coming up with the Homer 150th, and we'll have photos from that weekend coming up in next week's edition of the Dakota County Star as well. So you'll want to make sure and pick up a copy, especially if you or your kid got in the paper. We're gonna be taking a lot of pictures this weekend there in Homer, so you might want to pick up a copy, and we'll see about making extra copies available of the photos as well. We've got an opportunity to put some stuff up on the website. We'll have a little special photo page up on the website as well. So all that coming up here with the Dakota County Star, and we are very proud to be Dakota County's official newspaper, covering Dakota County since 1909, and planning on covering it for a lot more years to come. So that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Dakota County Star podcast here on datcostar.com. I'm Mike Carnes, checking out for another week. Have yourselves a good weekend. Stay cool if you're going to be out and about, and we will see you with another edition of the Dakota County Star podcast right here on datcostar.com. Until then, we'll see you later.